Welcome back to Blackacre Ranch, everyone. Today is going to be another move day, right? It's a bison carousel that happens. We've got some animals that are sold. They need to be relocated to a different pasture. And then these guys need to go to a different spot, have access. Let's fill you in on all the details. Stick with us. All right, guys, if you've been following along with the channel, you've noticed over the years we've had some issues when it comes to time for the summer months. So usually what we've seen here on this ranch, there's not enough grass for the number of animals, and there's really not a lot of grass anyway. That's prompted us to do a bunch of planting. That's why April we planted pens B and C, we planted pastures 6 and 7, so it's about 40 acres we planted. Yeah, the 2.5 acres, and anyway, we planted a bunch of seed. We're waiting for that to grow. We're in the transition of we can't supplement these guys forever. You're gonna go broke if you're a business or a ranch trying to supplement feed your buffalo all the time. And for just history purposes and context, the first year we didn't do a lot of supplementation. We just did some cubes once or twice a week. And it's a protein supplement. It provides them protein. Not a lot of energy, okay? So the first year the calves didn't grow very well weight-wise. And so they kind of struggled. So our frat brats are over there by Chica, and it was kind of a difficult time. What you have is where the moms start looking more emaciated, their body condition scoring goes down, and we needed to do something about it. But the first year we crashed and burned. Second year we only had 2 mothers because the first year was so bad. Two mothers that actually had calves, and that's a problem with body condition scoring that's super low. And we tried a bunch of cubes because, hey, why not just use cubes? And they didn't do so good. That is these 2 calves, yearlings now over here. So we're really trying to find a solution. That's what prompted us to go ahead and get the Rio Max. And it does work some. I just don't know how much supplementation we have to feed with the Rio Max to keep their body condition scoring looking great. So if you're wondering what body condition scoring is, it's a measure visually of the health of the animal. Put it on whatever scale you want, 1 to 10, 1 to 5. Anyways, you look for different signs. This is 93. She is always just looks like that. She looks like a saggy belly, man. She always looks like that, but you can kind of see some ribs. There's some markers they look at. They look for the ribs. Can you see them? How wide is the hump? You know, like here you can see the hump right here. How wide is it? Is it broad? Are they looking a little recessed in the cheeks? Let's see if I can find anybody that's looking maybe recessed. This mom right here, you can kind of see her kind of hip bone at the back is more pronounced. So that means her cheeks are actually going in. Again, it's a sign that she's not doing too good and that she needs more supplementation. Lactating mothers give a lot of milk. And if something goes first, if they don't get enough nutrients, they will stop producing quality milk. So it sacrifices the calf instead of the mother. So I'm not going to get into the whole body condition scoring about how it's done. We did a video of this back in August, but that's what we're doing. We're moving them to a loose mineral feed, the stuff that we gave for the frat brats and these 2 yearling calves behind us. We just haven't really been able to do that because there's no room for troughs, and hence the moves. So I'm going to stop talking right now. We need to get a bunch of troughs lined up for these guys to start feeding them the loose mineral feed. And that means we're gonna have to move these yearlings and the frat brats. So let's just get this done, and I'll tell you kind of why and the rhyme or reason for it as we do. Let's actually get this prepped, because I don't want the calves to come in. I need the other guys to go out. As my son would say, they're probably getting kind of sus about what's going on. All right. not wanting to go. Coming, Chica.
Yep.
Don't let him through, don't let him through.
What? Come on. Let's go.
All right, they got in. 104 was not the happy camper, almost reminiscent of 112 we just shot. So these guys are gonna sit here. We had to free up a spot for the troughs. That's now gonna be that pen over there. We actually have buyers for all of these animals, and we are going to be sending them, half of them on Monday and half the next week Monday. So, you know, take it for what it's worth. Sold them all. I actually have received the money for the first half, so that's at least a positive sign. So we're gonna leave these guys here for 2 days, then we'll steal half away. Otherwise, let's just get these other guys moving and go from there. Gosh. Now, if you're wondering, hey Jeff, aren't you doing feed sales? I mean, like meat sales, and aren't you going to be processing these things in August and December and all that kind of stuff? So here's my philosophy on that. A bird in the hand is worth more than two in the bush kind of philosophy, okay? There's permits, there's other things for sales, for meat, and so forth. Is it better to potentially process these guys, store them in a bunch of freezers right now when somebody else is willing to buy them for a decent price? Or do we just kind of like push the meat sales? And so, you know, with us not even in the property here on the house, we don't have the freezers all down here, stuff like that. I thought, you know what, take what you can get while you got it at a pretty good price and you move on. So that's what we're gonna do. We're just gonna let these guys be sold to somebody else and kind of take the money and use it towards building out everything else. We still do have those two animals that were processed. We're just waiting for the meat back, hopefully in a week or so. And we are going to be doing sales from those two animals that we processed. So we will still have some sales. It kind of ramps us up also that way on the meat sales front. So that's kind of the reasoning about why we're going to have all of these 5 animals be sold live to somebody else. So I think it makes sense, right? All right, so where does that leave us now? It leaves us with, we need to get the big animals moved. There's gonna be that one. Wow, that's really nice. Perfect fit, Chica. I couldn't have built it better myself. Haha. We did build it ourselves, didn't we? Now, I know all this green grass is just gonna make them stop and pause and halt, and it's not gonna be great, but it might be a little slow process. All right, so you can see the area around here is a lot bigger, a lot more room. We already have 2 troughs, and this is directly off pasture 5, so that's kind of why we're wanting to get him in here. We don't have to worry so much about the barbed wire fencing in case there's some struggling, or not struggling, but just dominance assertion. So we'll put a couple troughs, maybe one over here, and then we can start putting actually their feed over here too if we want. This is obviously a grass pasture. It's just been overgrazed from the feed lot. So it's not usually going to be like this, but right now it is. So that's the gate. We can open them up back into pasture 5. Pasture 4 is pretty shot. All of this is going to be sacrificed to our pastures and pastures 4 and 5 for another year. So if you've been wondering why maybe we've gotten rid of so many animals, it's really because we're trying to trim down the herd to match the size of the property. And from our experience with the last couple of years, we can actually get who are the ones that we like the most, right? So it's kind of like that selective keeping and culling kind of a thing. So we now know who kind of looks the best, who does the best, those things. And so we're going to take of those from our herd, keep them here. And then once we get out, then all the planting done, we're actually going to start building it back up a little bit, dependent on how much grass there is and how much it can hold. So I'll just say it again, you can go broke trying to force feed or give your animals so much supplementation for lack of grass. So ideally, yes, it would be great to get your pastures all set up before you get buffalo. Just like it'd be great to get all of your handling facility done before you get buffalo. It'd be great to have your house built before you get buffalo. But I'll tell you what, it's like raising kids, man. If you're gonna wait until you're perfectly financially set up to have children, you're never gonna have kids. So just pop them out, right? I've got 6 kids, I can say that. But you're never perfectly ready for everything. Just start getting a move on, all right? That's what you gotta do. Let's get these guys out of here. All right, actually, before we did all that, let's open up a few more pens. So we've got pen 1, pen 3 I'm standing in. We got them all open. Oh, and 4. Let's open up 5. And let's get bull rushed by everybody coming in for the grass. Seriously, why can't our pastures look like this all the time? It's ridiculous. I'm not sure if they're looking at us all suspect, but I'm getting out of the way. Position of safety and security, guys. I forgot to count. I only counted 19, Chica. We have 3 way yonder. All right, so we're missing 3 from pen C. 2 of them on their way, the other one is a little slow. As you can see, they're all funneling through. They're eating some grass. And I think that's good. Let them chow down all they want. I think all's looking good, guys. Let's see if we can encourage this last one here. Holy cow, she's back there. There you go. All right, they'll make their way up there. I'm gonna get these gates. All right, the curse of so many gates. This one's open, that one's closed. Pasture 4 that way, pasture 5 this way. Again, this isn't super ready for it, but this is the sacrificial pad, man. This is what it's gonna be. We're gonna close this one off so they can't get back up in here, and that's obviously gonna stay closed. So this is that joint feed spot between pastures 4 and 5. And between the gates over here, you know, they can get access. So we're gonna leave actually all of the gates open up there where the handling pen is, and where all those working pens. So that way they can still come back in through here, and so they can also eat the grass. We gotta make sure, crap, that other gate is closed, which it may not be. And then we can open up the gate from the actual handling pens into there as well. So anyway, lots to do, guys, lots to do. Hey, and before we're leaving, if you can't tell, there's a nice bow in the gate. Number 1. Gate number 2, how are you faring? That's a nice bow right here. All right, let me out of here. That's what happens when you buy cheap gates. Which also means I spent half the price. So it's a means to an end. All right, well, we're gonna let the buffalo eat, and we've been letting him eat for a while. Our task now was to just clean out this pavilion. And the pavilion had all sorts of junk, all up here, pallets. We slid this over, and what we're trying to do is get a alleyway. Flies going in my mouth. We moved all of the loose feed barrels all the way to over here, kind of cleaned up some of this, threw some trash there, put some stuff in the building, and everything over by where the feed used to be is cleared out, because we're gonna get some hay, and we're gonna put some hay all the way across here. And I'm tired of having to pull in and make it 90 real quick, and I can barely store 120 bales, if that, in here. So if we can just open this thing all the way up, with all the attachments on the side to that way get access to them and access that way. And I can pull in through here, and that means I can just do straight shot and get a lot more bales of hay. So what we got the elders doing this time, we got 2 new ones because the others went somewhere else. This is our old mineral feeder, and Certain is staring at it, and the bolts have got to get inside the tire. This is what Ahmed destroyed, and Bartok, so we told the elders, do whatever you want to do and get it done. So they're going to try and get that all popped back into place, and we may use that mineral feeder some other time in a better world. So, all right, this is progress. So that's what we've been up to actually for the last little bit. I still have the cedar here. The cedar, once those animals are out of pen A, the 3 frat brats and the 2 yearlings, then I will hurry and quickly seed that. Use some of the rest of the seed that I've got kind of laying around, and then I'll probably return this. Might need a spray for weeds. So anyway, that's why I still have this. So that's kind of the update here. We're gonna finish this a little bit and then go back over to the herd and take care of the rest of their stuff. All right, we got these 2 troughs down, so we're going to need to get one more. One more is actually over by the squeeze chute, so we haven't used it yet. And I might just drop it up here at a different angle, this direction mainly, but as long as there's enough space and they can kind of move around. I want them to keep eating the grass that's up here. We already had 1 buffalo that's already outside the gate, or the fence, because the gate at the very far end of the feed lot is open. So one of the advantages of doing what we're doing here is, 1, bigger space, not as much congestion. 2, it gets them familiar with the feed pens or the handling pens, so you know, they don't fear it so much walking in and seeing everything. And besides, they mow it for us. So yeah, I guess that's really it. You know, we're going to keep the feed lot open to them because they can enter there, they can enter over here, and we want to start getting them stuff. Now, I did mention when we're over the pavilion that worming, it's about that time of year. We need to worm them probably. I haven't taken a fecal sample, but just as part of our plan, we do it twice a year. So I want to put them with all the safeguard cubes in here, 1 more trough, and then we're going to do that. But otherwise, then we leave the buffalo alone and let them just keep grazing. You said hot?
Hot.
Huh. What if we just slide this off real quick? You get that one, just slide it on the concrete. Ooh, that's hot.
Use your hat as like a glove.
There. Now when we lift it, it'll fall down. Scaring all the buffalo, chica. Ah! 5. I'm just gonna go check their water real quick, and then we just gotta get that worming stuff. Now my fear is with opening the gate and having them kind of over there, they're not gonna be here to eat the worming stuff. So I don't like, that stuff has gotta just be eaten. I don't like leaving it overnight or anything like that, especially since there might be a storm or two. I don't know, Chico, what do you think? Should we bring them the hay?
I think we should bring them the hay, whether we bring them the cubes or not.
Maybe do cubes later?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll figure that out then. All right, here's the pavilion, guys. Progress is done. We're over here going to get alfalfa. We decided alfalfa is the best course. Like I showed before, pallets. Those are our feed bins for the mineral, like what are they called? Loose supplement feed. This is trash pile that needs to go into a dumpster we don't have yet. I can still access this from now, but I need to move it. And then otherwise we've got Rio Max, concrete, some tools, hay, and then that's cleared out for a bunch of hay to be stored. So I am hoping to have less bales of hay. Just for reference, we went through 224 bales of hay last year, which is ridiculous, especially when they're costing $120 a bale. Luckily, the first half of that was not exorbitant, but still it's crazy money, man. It's stupid. So that's kind of partly, like I said before, while we're trimming down the herd a little bit, selecting the ones that we like, because I don't want to keep feeding people like that. And as we're letting things grow in the pastures, we just need the extra space. Hence also why getting rid of the frat brats, frat boys, and those 2 yearlings. Let the pastures have no pressure on them, let the grass grow, get everything set up and ready for the next crop of 16 that we have right now. We still don't have a baby from number 9. What's her name? Nadine, or 30, which one's that one? Tracy. Okay. And Stephanie, I just don't see it gonna happen. So I'm thinking maybe we'll get one more, but we'll see. All right, let's get this alfalfa. Yep, loaded in the truck over there. Once we get the alfalfa to them tonight, they'll see where it goes. I'm not so worried about that, but then we'll do the worming cubes tomorrow because I'm sure they'll figure everything else out by then. I should have been wearing this hat the whole time anyway. All right, let's get these things loaded. It is hot. It's muggy. It's like a struggle to breathe. We broke a dew point high. What was it, just earlier this week? The dew point has a record high for some reason. I don't know, whatever. I don't think it was just a daily record high. I think it was like a record high. So it's been pretty suffocating. Let's get this unloaded real quick and get out of here.
I'm gonna go to a far
This guy.
At first I never broke this all up, but they get their horn in there and they flip out a whole leaf. What do you call it? Flake. And so I think sometimes they want it broken up a little bit better. Now this.
Yeah, it's kind of gross.
All right, guys, we're gonna leave it here. Alfalfa's done. They may not come up for quite a while. The water down there, they keep drinking from because it's convenient, but they're gonna have to come back up for the water up here. So that'll probably happen tonight when they'll see all this. Anyway, it's seriously muggy and suffocating. So we're gonna call this a wraps. Get done, get out of here, go home. So anyway, like and subscribe, guys. So that way it feels warm and fuzzy for our torture every single weekend or every day that we do this. All right, see you next time at Blackacre. Bye.